And welcome back, Mindsetters. I hope you had a nice little break there and you went and did whatever you had to do. But most importantly, you went and got yourself something warm to drink because it is cold. Even here in studio, we're shivering a little bit, and I decided to just wear a t shirt, which wasn't a smart idea. But anyway, on that note, Mindsetters, make sure that you're ready with your pens and pads out and you're making notes because I know you matrix, you're writing exams very soon.
3 weeks.
And I just want to say, actually, in 3 weeks, as Llewellyn said, make sure that you guys have your notes ready and best of luck. But on that note, I'm going to hand over to Lou, who's going to continue the show. Take it away.
Okay, before we left, we were talking about how to increase a population. I said natality, which means birth, making a child, getting a new person in, remember? And then immigration, as in, okay, so it's actually I-M, but remember the I meaning into the house, right? Invite somebody in to stay, okay? So they're joining the population. And as you can see, I've made a nice thing, increasing a population. You need, let's change the color because you'll never see black. You increase that one, those two, they make sure that this whole thing gets nice and big and strong and solid. Okay, so that is the way. Now, the problem is that I've been telling you about this nice word here, okay, natality. And I was explaining to you how how do you increase the population of my family? You have another child. The problem is, I'm lying to you. Now you're confused. Now, I'll tell you that to increase the population of my animals, or my dogs and my cats and my bird, the natality rate there is if they have puppies. Right. But humans, we do not say we have a natality rate. Okay. We look at ourselves as special. And not a funny special. I'm talking about we are the best, okay? So we give ourselves another name. We actually give ourselves two names. Okay, let's have a look at the two names, if I can. Next page. No, wrong one. Done. There we go. Okay. Natality, let's just go past natality, is perfect for animals, okay? And natality will only increase if conditions are favorable. Now, why would animals mate if there's no food, if there is no water, and everything is unhappy, okay? There's going to be no mating. I can promise you now there's going to be no mating at all. There's no food. The dog isn't interested in anything. She's not going to fall pregnant if she's too hungry, okay? So the natality rate has to we're always worried about if the conditions are favorable to actually improve the population of that group. Okay, so that is why when you go to the Kruger National Park and the animals are thriving or being nice and strong and solid, the natality rate actually is quite good. Okay, but in the beginning when you start it, the natality rate isn't that good because they're not used to it. They're not happy with the conditions. They first need to find type of food, where the water is and things like that. They've got to go and explore the place. Okay, so the natality rate depends on if the conditions are favorable. That's why we look at animals. Okay, if we have a look at humans, here it is. If we have a look at humans, we just extend this page a bit so we can actually see too much. There we go. This is what we use for us. Fertility. Now, you've heard this word before, fertility, but we use this for humans. Okay? And we only use this. We can find the fertility rate. Okay? Our fertility rate that we use for humans, we normally look at 10,000 ladies. Okay, and it's got to be specific ladies. They've got to be in the ages between 15 and 45 because that is the ages where we breed. Okay, so if we have a look at it, the ages between 15 and 45, and we look at, not 10,000, 1,000. Okay, I'm saying 10,000 because I remember this whole thing. So if we look at 1,000 ladies at a time, 1,000. Okay. For every 1,000 ladies, we need to work out the fertility rate for them. So there is a sum we can use, okay? And this is per year, okay? So from the 1st of January to December, the end of December, right? From there, that will give you the fertility rate, okay, that we're looking at in humans only, okay? Let's have a look at it. If there are 50 1,000 females, okay? And they are at the right age. In other words, between 15 and 45. In other words, they can fall pregnant, okay? Between 15 and 45, any ladies, okay? We say there's 1,000 children born, okay? Those 1,000 children, okay, from 50,000 people, what we do is we take 1,000, okay? 1,000 children, we divide it by 50,000 ladies, okay? And if I had to do that, it would be, let's just do it here, 1,000 divided by 50,000. The answer, if I just had to put an answer is there, it would be 0, let me just check. I think it's 0.2. 0.02, okay? And then we times 1,000. Why do we times 1,000? Because remember, we're working this out according to 1,000 females at a time, okay? We're not looking at one child, one female. We're looking at 1,000 female at a time, okay? So we times it by 1,000. If that is the case, we move the comma 3 times, okay? So it'll be 20. There it is, okay? If you can see that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to erase this piece so that you can see what I've actually done. Just do that again so that you can understand it. Duh. My writing today is not working. Wait, 20. Okay? Remember, it was here. We moved the comma. If you're good at maths, math students must be able to do this with ease, right? We get 20. So the fertility rate is 20. Now, that is if we do it for 1 year. Now, we have another word. Now, this word here that we're going to look at now is quite strange, okay? It is called fecundity. There it is, fecundity. Please write this word down if you have a pen and piece of paper, because this is very important. The fecundity is quite strange. It works over a lifetime, okay? So from when you are 15 all the way to when you are 45, okay? That is your fecundity. It works over a generation. So for example, all the ladies that were born in, I don't know how I'm going to do this, 1985, right? In 1985, all the women that were born in 1985, they go, when they're 15, they find out from when they're 15, from 1985, they go all the way up to where they're 15. When they're 15, they have a look and they start seeing how many children all the women in 1985 start producing till when they are 45 years old. Okay, so let's take this. If I had to have a look at it, let's move this down. We can move that up a little bit. We take it, 10,000 female. Told you I remember 10,000 somewhere. 10,000 female, there we go, were born in 1985. Okay, let me just write that there, 1985. 10,000 women were born. Right, then from when they were born all the way to when they are 45, all the women in Johannesburg, there we go. Let's say Randburg, it's nicely, okay? In Randburg, all the women that were born and they stay there, they don't leave, right? Never happens, but I'm just explaining it to you. So in 1985, the women that were born, there were 10,000 of them. Okay, and all of them together, you add all their children together. So they have a reunion at the hospital, right? At these hospitals. They call all the ladies together. They reckon, okay, here comes all 10,000 when they are 45 years old. And they say to them, okay, let me see how many kids you got. And they add up all the kids, and it comes to 25,000 children. Okay, 25,000 children for that generation, right? What they do then is they take all the children, they divide it by 10,000, so they divide it by how many mommies are there, right? And they're going to get 2.5. That means, in average, each mother will have 2.5 kids. Now, how do you have a half a child? That's always confused me, because Why would you have a half a child? What, does only the legs come out and then you doctor the legs and that's going to go? Or you only have the top part of the baby? It's not really like that. The problem is, I'll have 2 kids and my neighbor will have 3. Okay, so her half and my half go together to make a full child. Okay, so, but they're looking at the average. Okay, the average is 2.5. Okay, so as I said, the average of each lady gave birth to 2.5 children. I hope you guys are writing these examples down because they can ask you this. Okay? Don't forget fecundity and fertility has got to do with humans and natality has got to do with animals. Okay? Now, next thing. What can also affect this whole population number? Okay? We don't just have your increase, so your natality or fecundity or your fertility and your immigration. We also have the worst part, which is mortality. Mortality is if you die. So we have a look at your mortality. There it is. That's death. Okay? And the other one, you exit my house, you will, there it is, emigrate. So it's EX, you exit the house, emigrate. Okay, and if you have a look at it, the immigration, there it is, mortality will decrease the population. Okay, so this part will get smaller if this happens, if these 2 things happen. They do get smaller. Okay, now that's a good thing. I know having things die and it's not always nice, but it has to happen. I mean, can you imagine if Noah or your great-great-great-grandfather was still alive today? He'd have his own house. There'd be no more space, right? There would be too many people. There's already too many people, but what do? We still have people that are like 400 years old staying here. There's not enough space for them. Then we're not going to have a Kruger Park. We're not going to have any nice places because there's not enough space. Okay, so we have to die. Animals have to die. I know it's sad when your doggy dies, but that's the way life is. Okay, mortality is a definite thing. It is going to happen. Okay, now can you tell me why people will immigrate? Okay, people will definitely immigrate. If I put it there, I'm sure I brought it in. Mortality, first of all, mortality will come from a couple of things. Old age, okay, fighting. We all know that they fight, okay. Food, not enough food, so they die of starvation, right? That's a big thing. They die of floods, okay. So all the natural disasters, and then, of course, lions, leopards, hyenas, wild dogs, all of those things, they will kill the animal, okay. That's the mortality rate. They're there for a reason, guys, okay. Now, that is mortality, death, okay? If we have a look at immigration, remember what I said, natality depends on how happy the animals are. Now, if they are not happy in this population, why would they stay? If you're not happy with this area, why would you stay? Think about it. Let me see if I can think about it like you guys do. If you're not happy with a party, right? You're going out, you're taking a couple of mates, we rock up at the party, and it's just not doing it for you. Are we going to stay? No, we're going to go to the next party, right? We're not going to stay at that party. That party's pointless. It's not happy, so we move. That's what happens. We immigrated in, we came in, right? We sat there, we had a couple of Cokes. No, not going to work for us. We emigrated to another party. Ta, you know what I'm talking about?
Totally.
Definitely, because I still do it. Now, this part is also important. It decreases and increases the population, okay? Now, what else? What is the whole point of a population? Okay, we want to, in actual fact, if I give myself some more room here, okay, we actually want to stabilize a population. Now, I know I went all the way up, but I want to stabilize a population. Population stability. That is when the death rate and the birth rate become equal. Okay? Now, if they become equal, the population is happy. I know it might not sound like that, but every time granddad dies, a new baby's born. Okay? That's round about how it works. And that doesn't mean that granddad dies now, baby's born immediately. It's not like that. Okay, what I'm talking about is if I have a look in the let's say we know South Africa, so let's say winter in July. Okay, in July we have 3 deaths. Okay, so 3 deaths, right? And in December, right? December over here, we're going to have 3 births. Okay, have you noticed how we decreased the population, and right at the end we increased it again? Okay, as long as they balance out later on, they've got a whole year to balance out. So it takes a while. So in other words, if I had to have a look at it, it might be doing something like this. Okay, so we die and we come back together, and we die and we come back, we die, we come back. And I don't mean me myself, but some people die, some animals get born. Okay, now that is why our population runs like that. Our population decreases and then it increases a bit. Then it decreases and then it increases a bit, and decreases and increases. That's when we know the population is stable. Okay. Growth patterns. Now remember I was telling you about parameters, right? And how we're going to increase these animals or the species or the population, the community. All of that's got to increase and decrease. Okay, now we have a look at 2 types. Okay, the 2 types that we use. Okay, you guys have all heard this. Okay, so it's not something new. We're having a look at 2 graphs. Okay, the first one is your geometric graph, and the second one is your logistics graph. Now, one thing you must understand, that your geometric graph can be part of your logistic graphs. Okay, but before I go on to the next slide, okay, what I want you to do is I want you to think, and I want an answer as quick as possible. Okay, what is a geometric graph and what is a logistic graph? Okay, just think about it for 2 seconds. I'm just a bit worried about going on to the next slide. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a break, and then when I come back from the break, I want as many answers as possible. Please, guys, let me see it. Ta?
All right. I'll make sure that I look out for them. I'm already on the page and peeling through and seeing what you guys have been posting. But on that note, Mindset is, as I keep saying, make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend to tell another friend to make sure that they get on the page too. But on that note, guys, I'll see you after this break.